Now at 10, businesses and residents wrestle with a boil advisory in Galena, Kansas. Plus, a one-time entertainment venue in southwest Missouri will see new life as a police department. And the city of Fairland, Oklahoma celebrates the opening of a new Boys and Girls Club.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Galena, Kansas residents and businesses are struggling with an ongoing boil advisory. This is KOAM News at 10. I'm Dow Quick. The Kansas Department of Health and Environment issued the boil advisory, citing concerns about Galena's inability to maintain proper chlorine levels. Officials say that put the water system at risk for bacterial contamination. The owner of Sweet Creek Diner and Bakery in Galena says when she found out about the advisory, she was forced to close in order to prepare to safely serve customers.
We used that time to prepare, and we went and got bottles of soda for customers and bottles of water for brewing our coffee, and anything that we could do that enabled us to open on Tuesday.
Galena city officials say they're waiting for the results of one final sample. She hopes the Kansas Department of Health and Environment will be able to lift the advisory sometime tomorrow. Bit of a cool down out there. Meteorologist Lindsay Gaffney joins us.
It was a great start to the day. Temperatures were at a low 60, 61 out in Joplin. Only got up to about 89 degrees, so we're a little bit below average. We do have another cool down starting tomorrow morning, and we're going to see even lower temperatures for the rest of the weekend. But right now, out in Joplin, 77, clear, and we have an easterly breeze, so winds are starting to shift out of the east. Like I said, that cool down in the morning, winds will shift right back out from the north, bringing us another north air mass, cooler air mass through the weekend. Temperatures are going to continue to drop tonight, though, back into the low to mid 60s for overnight low. And then we start with those cooler mid 80 degree weather for the rest of the weekend, but I'll have more details for you in just a bit.
See you soon. A unique form of demolition is underway on a part of the former White House Theater in Branson, Missouri. Crews are transforming the one-time entertainment venue into a new police department for the city. SWAT teams are taking advantage of the setting to do some training by acting as the demolition crew. They're going through the building, knocking down doors, busting glass, and, as you heard, using explosives. The city chose to renovate the White House Theater to save money and to get a higher quality result.
When the mayor mentioned that we're saving $10 million, I got to see some of the original designs at the first location. It was going to be a smaller building, and yeah, it was to build from scratch and blow a lot of rock up and everything like that. It was going to be a lot more money. Now we already have the shell here. It's a faster project. It's giving us more room. We're on 12 acres. We can do our driver's training in the parking lots before we had to go find parking lots. It's just opening up so many more options for us.
The $16 million renovation is scheduled to be finished by early 2026. A couple from Texas is working to restore a historic building in Fort Scott, Kansas. Al and Luana Neese are hoping to give the historic Schultz Payne building new life. That building, which was built back in 1889, was just barely holding on. Nearly a year ago, the couple bought the building and now hope to see it thrive again.
Obviously, we couldn't save the other stuff, but we can save this. We can save the shell, and hopefully this building will stand for another 100, 200 years.
There is no set completion date for that project yet. Luana says they're doing their best to keep as much of the historical aspects of the building as possible while also putting a modern twist on it. Boys and Girls Club cut the ribbon for their new Fairland, Oklahoma location. The club offers tutoring and after-school care for kids. KOAM's Melissa Alexis explains how the new location will help them achieve their goals.
We cannot measure what it means for a young person to have a safe place.
Ashley Landon is a mom whose kids are members of the Boys and Girls Club. She says this new Fairland location is much needed as it will bring their services to more families.
My kids love it. They come every year. They've been coming for many years and just have watched it grow.
She says the Boys and Girls Club provides her family with childcare so her and her husband can work full-time.
A safe place for my kids to be every day. I don't have to worry about where they're at, if they're being taken care of, if they're and they're having fun.
Mackenzie Garst is the CEO of the Boys and Girls Club of Ottawa County. And she says the new Boys and Girls Club location allows the program to expand and provide more kids with programs that will protect them from being unsupervised after school. She says this new program is especially needed in a small rural town like Fairland.
Through a variety of programs like art and games room and video games and outdoor time, all the fun things that kids love to do.
But the Fairland Boys and Girls Club doesn't just offer games and activities. They also offer tutoring.
We want kids who are prepared for their future, whether that be to go to college, the workforce, whatever, the military, whatever that looks like.
The Fairland Boys and Girls Club will serve kids from ages 6 through 18. Reporting in Ottawa County, Melissa Alexis, KOAM News.
The creation of this new Fairland Boys and Girls Club was made possible through a partnership with the Cherokee Nation. A Miami City Councilman announces his resignation. The news came before this week's City Council meeting. According to the City of Miami, Oklahoma Facebook post, Dustin Pittman resigned from his position as councilman trustee and cited health reasons for his decision to step down. Pittman's resignation leaves the Ward 4 seat on the Miami City Council vacant for now. City of Joplin wants to give the public a chance to weigh in on some transportation issues. The Joplin Area Transportation Study Organization, or JATSO, will open a 7-day public comment period for the fiscal year 2025 Unified Planning Work Program. The program lists the transportation studies and tasks, as well as member agencies to support the metropolitan transportation planning process. Public comment period begins Friday at 8 a.m. and concludes on Friday, August 16th at noon. We have a link to the proposed program on our website. That's KOAMnewsnow.com. Arkansas schools plan to use artificial intelligence this school year. That's coming up. But up first, students at Carthage High School get ready to start the year with a tune-up at band camp. School year just around the corner for Carthage High Schoolers, and the band students, they're already preparing. But they have to practice with more than just their instruments. They're using an app to help coordinate their routines. KOAM photojournalist Ty Parks got an up-close look at the practice.
Okay, so we have for the full band, we have a 2-week band camp. So this is our second week. We have just 3 more days left, today and tomorrow and Friday. And but we started last week and we started with fundamentals. In fundamentals and music camp. So in the morning, we start spending time giving them stretching. We stretch every morning before we start. We start acclimating them to the outdoor weather because it's warmer.
And you're there.
We spend time in fundamentals teaching them all their different moves from forward march, backward march, slides, and all of that so that they know what to do once we get out here and put the movements to the show. We definitely do not just do a random Sunday stroll. It's a marching technique. We always have to start on the same foot so that we're in uniform. Being out in a band, we wear uniforms. We want to be in uniform and be synchronized in the movements that we do. So we teach them how to properly, step off, whether toes up, their heel hits the ground. All those intricate details. That's all happens in our fundamentals. So.
Hold in. We go. 16.
You have to think ahead, like 6 to 10 steps. Like you have to think, like, what am I gonna do next? How does it line up with the music? It's just it's kind of a process to where if you're not fully engaged with it, you're not gonna be in time with everyone else. So it's just a mindset. And sometimes you get into tunnel vision where you're just thinking of what you're doing, what's going on. Like nothing's going on around you. It's just you and the field, and that's kind of like this kind of nostalgic.
This requires a lot of self-discipline. These students have to come out here on very hot days and still work. The turf can be still quite warm. We do watch the weather. We have an app that shows us where we are, and so that we can take the certain number of breaks to make sure that they're staying hydrated and not overheating. We never want that to happen, but it does take a lot of exertion, and so, you know, if this is not something that you actually enjoy and are passionate about, then it's not something you're going to enjoy and work hard at and want to be here.
All of the routines will culminate in a 7-minute show just in time for competition season. Arkansas schools are integrating artificial intelligence tools into the new year, but that doesn't mean students won't have to do their own work. The director of the library services at the University of Arkansas Fort Worth says officials are making sure students will still write their essays themselves. Officials say AI can be beneficial in the classroom on various levels, including dealing with large data sets and transcribing lectures. But officials want to ensure education integrity.
They see an early draft, they see a second draft, they see a third draft, a final draft. Sometimes they'll have their students work in Google Docs, for example, where you can see sort of the unfolding of a composition rather than just, turning in something that might have been generated entirely by AI.
If students are caught cheating with AI, well, then they could be expelled or dropped from a class. A cautionary tale not to leave lithium batteries out around your pets. Home surveillance video from Tulsa, Oklahoma, a living room there, shows the frightening scene. A dog chewing on a power bank with a lithium battery inside. You see the result, a flash, a fire breaks out within minutes with 2 dogs and a cat in danger.
What we know is that lithium ion batteries, if the housing is damaged, they're exposed to extreme heat, or they somehow rupture, they can cause toxic gases, they can create fires and even explosions. We don't want people to charge those devices right at the exit. Put it somewhere else, so if it should start a fire, they would have a way to get out of their home.
The 2 dogs and cats did make it out safely thanks to the dog door. Experts say if your pet shows signs of battery poisoning, including stomach upset and breathing problems, you should take that pet to the veterinarian immediately. A little bit later, some precious little athletes go for the gold at the Freeman NICU in Joplin.
And we have a couple chances of cooler temperatures and rain in the forecast. I'll have more details right after the break. It's been a while since we've gotten some rain in the 4 states. I know we're not quite in drought conditions, but we're inching towards it. We're in mostly just dry across the area, so I know everyone's gonna love the rain. Luckily tonight hasn't happened yet, so we get one nice night. Cooler temperatures, you can see out in Indigo Sky Casino and Resort. Mostly clear skies, like I said, cooler temperatures. Our lows getting down to the low to mid 60s tonight, but just west of Wichita, you can see those storms firing up. A few severe thunderstorm watches were issued for those storms. By the time they make it into our area, we're not going to be concerned with any type of severe thunderstorm watches. We're only looking at maybe an isolated storm or 2 as it moves in, but by the time it's made it through our central counties, mostly just going to be some scattered showers. So it really dissipates by the time it moves in, but it doesn't mean the effects aren't still there. By tomorrow, you can start to see little to no heat risk, especially in those northern counties where that line is strongest as it moves through the area. And then Friday and into Saturday, no heat risk across most of our counties. So we had that cold front that came through last night, dropping our temperatures last night and today, but the cold front that's moving in tomorrow morning is really going to have a more of a lasting effect through the weekend. Temperatures getting through the low 80s across the area until about Sunday and Monday. Temperatures do start to climb back up into the low 90s. Unfortunately, by next weekend, back to the upper 90s. It is still August, so those high temperatures are more normal. This is what we're seeing as abnormal temperatures. But here's that storm that's moving in. 5:30 in the morning, you can see where the line of winds are, and the storm's firing up right behind it. starts off strong as it moves into the western counties. Yates Center, maybe even getting into Parsons area. You might see some thunder or hear some thunder, see some lightning in the morning, but as it makes it closer to southeast Kansas and southwest Missouri, mostly just isolated showers, scattered showers across the area. It's not the last chance of rain that we're going to see through the weekend. We start to see more rain chances popping up. Maybe Friday afternoon in those western counties, a shower or two. Not going to be a lot of rainfall there either, but Saturday, more scattered shower chances in the afternoon, starting after about noon to 1 p.m. Those chances continue on and off through the weekend. We'll see more rainfall over the weekend and into next week. Unfortunately, in the morning, not a lot of rainfall. Yates Center, Fredonia, Iola getting about half an inch, maybe a little bit less. The rest of us, just a drizzle, a light sprinkle in the morning. But like I said, still the effects are there. So we're going to see those cooler temperatures, lows in the low to mid 60s, highs in the 80s, 80 degrees on Saturday. Some areas may be even seeing highs in the upper 70s. Sunday starting to warm back up, rain chances, scattered shower chances Monday and Tuesday, and then by Wednesday and Thursday, isolated thunderstorms, scattered thunderstorms, and then those temperatures really start to ramp back up by next weekend.
Yeah, we'll enjoy these cooler temperatures and the rain if we get it.
Oh yeah.
While we can.
I'm looking forward to it.
You bet, thanks. Still ahead, the Webb City All-Stars try to punch their ticket to the Midwest Region Championship. And the Joplin Outlaws played their final home game of the season. John Dales has those stories and more coming up next.
Don't miss.
Pittsburgh State football begins defending its 2 consecutive MIAA titles this morning at Kearney Smith Stadium. The Gorillas hold their first practice of the fall season with a team full of new and familiar faces. The Tom Anthony era is officially underway in Pittsburgh. The Gorillas hold their first practice of the fall 2024 season. Now, Pittsburgh State is picked to finish second in the preseason media and coaches MIAA polls. The Gorillas know the season opener is fast approaching, but feel good about the progress they make on day one.
Looking back in December and just all the time after the season, like with just like all the work that the team has put in and all how close we've got and how much work that actually has gone into it, and just looking back on that is just super exciting to see, like, you know, and all the energy and stuff on day one. It's just a great time to see all the guys back together as one group.
I mean, the last 2 years have been pretty evident, left with a bad taste in our mouth, and we all, you know, kind of came together and made a decision that we want to change things around here, we want to raise the standard to a new level, and that's.
Over at the Little League Baseball Regional Tournament in Whitestown, Indiana, the Webb City All-Stars have won their first 2 games. Another 2 victories would give them a regional championship and a berth in the Little League World Series in Williamsport, Pennsylvania. Battle of 2 unbeaten teams in the Midwest region. Webb City takes on Sioux Falls, South Dakota in the semifinals. Joel Beverland gets the Missouri State champs on the board first with an RBI single in the bottom of the first inning. Later in the frame, Levi Smith hits a grounder towards third. That makes it 2-0 Webb City. We're still in the first. Drew Clore makes it 3-0 with an RBI ground out. Webb City off to the races. Bottom 4, Sioux Falls trying to get on base with this bunt, but George Hines with an incredible barehanded play to get the out at first. South Dakota comes back to tie it, but in the 5th, Webb City adds 1 more on a bases-loaded walk before Max Wood-Nancy hits this one towards the gap between short and third. Everybody's going to be safe, and another run scores. Webb City takes a 6-3 lead into the final half inning, but Sioux Falls not going to go away that easy. This RBI single into right field cuts the lead back to 2. No sweat, though. Batter later, Wood-Nancy gets the ground out to second to end it. Webb City improves to 3-0 in the Midwest Region Tournament and will play for a championship as well as a trip to Williamsport on Friday. Back here in Joplin, the Outlaws play their final home game of the season, hosting the Fort Smith Marshals, who they just beat last night. Outlaws starting pitcher Trent Zarecki walks in a run in the first, but then gets not one, but 2 strikeouts to escape a bases-loaded jam without any further damage. Joplin gets that run back quickly. Bottom 1, C.J. Sapicki knocks this one over the left fielder's head all the way to the wall. Andre Jackson and Rayvon Morgan both score. Outlaws score 3 in the first. Back on the mound next inning, Zarecki is locked in. He gets his 3rd strikeout of the day. He's far from finished. Next inning, there's his 4th on a drop 3rd strike to throw over to first in plenty of time. Then in the 4th, Zarecki gets his 5th punch out of the game. Outlaws run away with it. After they score 5 in the 6th inning, they earn their 35th victory of the summer. Final score 12-2. The Outlaws know that they're in the playoffs. They also know where the playoffs will be. It's next week in Abilene. Just 1 game, though. If they lose that, they're done. If they win it, they go on to the championship, which is also just 1 game.
But it's postseason time, so you never know what's going to happen. How exciting for those young athletes
really
in Webb
exciting.
City, you know?
Yeah.
Memories they'll take with them forever. We'll be right back.
If you're looking.
While the world continues to compete for Olympic medals, these tiny athletes compete for cuteness. NICU babies at the Freeman Hospital in Joplin put on their best game faces while dressed as proper Olympian athletes. As you see, these athletes represented everything from wrestlers to swimmers to track stars and more.
Because his doctors are like saying how he's a fighter and how he's so strong, and I just view the Olympics as like people who are strong and fighters and just fight through anything and everything.
Yes, they are strong, as are their families. All these NICU athletes are worth their weight in gold, of course, and they are already winners. The weather looking like a winner lately.
Oh yeah, I'm looking forward to it. It is unseasonably cool temperatures for the weekend. We can thank a cold front that comes through in the morning for that. And then rain chances start to kick off Saturday afternoon and continue for the entire week.
We could use the rain, certainly.
Definitely.
It's August. Final sports note.
A lot more Olympic action tomorrow. It's something that I have circled. Team USA men's basketball playing against Serbia, who has NBA MVP Nikola Jokic on their team.
Wow, that could be fun to watch. Thanks for joining us. Don't forget the morning show starts at 5 a.m. Let's make it a great tomorrow.
Closed captioning on KOAM.